All right, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of your new favorite podcast. I don't know. Not starring, but hosted by me, Jackie.
And me, Sana.
So welcome again to all 4 listeners.
We gained one.
We were
upgrading from 3 to 4. That's a big improvement.
It is. Percentage-wise, it's actually a huge gain. So we did launch last Wednesday was the launch of our first episode. So that was super fun, super exciting. So thank you to everyone who listened for all the support. We really did have a great outpouring of support.
Great. Some of the messages I received, people I haven't talked to in years, it's been really nice. And We're really excited for this journey, and we're so happy to be back for episode 2.
Yes.
Keeping the consistency.
Yes. It's really cool. Everyone was just really awesome. Everything that they said, all the comments, everyone except Roger who gave us a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, Roger. We can't be super mad at Roger because he's also our photographer, but
yes. But Roger also kind of redeemed himself because he did do a great photo shoot for us.
Yes, but let's just say he's not going to be on our show anytime soon for Roger, that comment.
You knocked yourself down a few pegs on the guest list.
Yeah, you were top 5, but I don't know now.
I don't know now.
We'll revisit.
You might be number 6, just to let you know. But no, it's been exciting, and so we're rocking and rolling. Episode 2. Really excited to be here. And so honestly, it's actually kind of interesting that we're both here because we both had very long weeks last week.
Super long.
I know that I had a leadership summit conference for work, which is super exciting. It was awesome, and it was fun. It was great. I got to see and meet people for the first time that I've basically worked with for close to 2 years. So we had people come out from Chicago and kind of all over. It was all the support staff for the company that you and I both worked for. But it was really, really cool to be there. But it was also very exhausting because I work by myself every day. I eat lunch by myself every day. Yeah. So having to go from being by myself for, again, close to 2 years and then nonstop, 8 a.m. to whatever, and constantly talking and being social and being present because you want to be present for it because it was really great content. It was amazing, to be honest. It was very, very helpful. But you're introducing yourself over and over and over again. And it's very much a social overload. So, so it's kind of a miracle that I'm here.
I'm proud of you.
That I didn't bail.
Yeah, I was texting her up to 6:15. And I'm like, I haven't heard a response. Is she showing up, or am I just throwing Caesar in for this episode? I was not sure.
We have a guest. Caesar. Producer Caesar's gonna join in.
Yes. But no, it's been long. I was able to squeeze in a 5-minute nap before I got here, and it's
one of those cat naps.
One of those. It did wonders. It was more like 15 minutes, but
okay. 5 minutes. It's 15.
That's all it took.
That's all it took to go from this to this. You're so annoying. But you even being here is actually kind of because according to your Instagram, I saw on your stories, we were back in Vegas. And not by we, by you.
That wasn't me.
You're back in Vegas. Which one? What the hell? I thought that was your 20s. I thought we moved on, basically. Apparently we haven't.
It reeled me back in.
Trying to get out.
I was like, you know what? Let me see how it's like now. Now I'm officially 30.
Now I'm officially 30.
Is it the same still? No, but I went for a friend's birthday, so it was really nice to hang out and see her. But, the difference is now that the old me would have been screw work and just be gone for the whole weekend. But now it's called balance at 30. So I went for one night, literally 24 hours, and I flew back Saturday at 7 a.m. I literally went from the club to the airport.
No.
So I could work Saturday and Sunday.
Not.
So now it's responsibility. Vegas is different now. See, I'm much more responsible.
Just so everyone got that. Leaving the club at 5:30 in the morning and going straight to the airport is the definition of responsibility.
How easy would it have been for me to be like, you know what? I'm committed. Let's miss my flight. Let's not make it to the airport.
That's true.
And it is what it is.
That's true.
But
which you would have absolutely done. Because this is also coming from the girl I don't have your permission to share this.
I mean, you can share it. If my mom's listening, sorry.
Sorry, Anita. Close your ears. Turn the volume down. No, this is coming from the girl that while we worked for Nordstrom, when we were wedding stylists.
I already know what story you're saying.
She went down to San Diego. She went down to San Diego, and the dummy did not remember to request the next day off. She went down for just a night, and she was driving back up the 5 to come to work because she opened the next day, mind you, not just worked, but open the next day.
This was back at our Nordstrom days.
And she had to pull over. Was it once or twice? Twice to puke on the side of the road. So on the 5,
okay,
Sana was puking.
In my defense, I was like 21, 22 years old. So it felt fitting for the time. You know? But nonetheless, I still made it to work. So like
you still made it. You still opened up the store. You still opened up the suite. And I think you hung in there. Because your shift would have been what, 8 to 5?
It was brutal. I remember how brutal it was because you can only imagine how I was feeling by throwing up twice on the freeway and then but we made it.
So if you ever remember driving on the 5 from San Diego early in the morning and seeing somebody on the side of the road puking, it could have been Sana. So, nice to meet you again. Lovely
we don't do those things now. We know how to handle our liquor.
We know how to handle ourselves.
I was a baby.
You were a baby. That's true. Yeah. That was child.
I've evolved, you know. Now we do the same thing, but there's no throw up, there's no hangover.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more adulthood.
We're classy.
We're classy now.
We're classy. We throw up in a toilet.
Not
on the side of the road.
So I know how to work and play hard. Balance. 30 has taught me balance.
This is true. But my second portion of that was, how was it? How was Vegas?
It was a really good time. It was super hot and crowded. It was much more crowded than we went for my birthday, which I was shocked about.
I forget that August is like the hottest month of the summer. I always think it's July, and it's never July. I don't know why I'm always stunned by this, because it's not like I didn't grow up here and haven't experienced every single summer of my life here. Yeah. But every single time I'm like, oh, that's right. August is the shittiest month of summer.
No, it was so crowded. We're like, you couldn't even move. So other than that, it was fun to hang out with my friends, and, you know, my friend's birthday, Saba. She lives in NorCal, so it's always good to see her.
Nice. Did we meet anybody? Because you know Vegas.
I mean,
Vegas.
There were some potential suitors.
Oh.
Some might get a call back. We're doing auditions. Their auditions went well, and there may be a callback. We'll see.
They might have passed. They might get the role. Who knows?
They might get the role. But stay tuned.
That actually, I don't know. That makes you think. I'm thinking about callbacks, which like dates. I haven't been on a date in a really long time. Actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I don't know. That just like triggered me to think. I can't remember the last time, which probably means that they weren't super memorable.
They probably weren't. And then I feel like when you go through a phase of bad dates, you're like, I'm done with dates for a bit.
Yes. You're like, I can't do this again. If I have to tell somebody what I enjoy doing on the weekends and what my favorite color is, what my favorite hobbies are, and then realizing I don't know if I have hobbies. And how do you tell someone that a hobby of yours is getting Starbucks and going to Target like a basic bitch?
Literally. Spending money.
Yeah, spending money.
I've seen on my TikTok.
Yeah, spending money is literally my hobby. Or like binge watching a show is like my hobby. Like it's not a hobby really. So yeah, after you go on a string of it, you're just like, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
Like, no, like don't put me in, coach. Like I need a break. But yeah, I haven't been on, but yeah, I mean, not great, not really great. I can't think of any, I can't think of them that they've been good. They've been memorable. Yeah. Memorable bad dates.
Those are,
I mean,
a ton of those.
Oh my God, do you remember your worst date? Which was salad?
When you say something, I already know where it's going. I already know it's going to this.
I'm dying.
Okay.
You have to tell this story. Sana has a great bad date.
I almost feel like I'm embarrassed for him, but I'm also embarrassed for me for sticking through it. You know, like This date happened, I want to say I was about 25 years old, so about 5 years ago, and it is still the running joke in the friend circle.
It is.
Like, somehow it always gets brought up,
bad.
and it's just that bad, and I feel like a lot of guys have been on dates right now probably shaking, wondering if I'm going to be talking about them.
Oh, God, please don't let it be me.
I'm probably going to get all these calls. I'm sorry if I ever did you wrong. Everyone's afraid I'm going to just out them.
I'm better now. Give me another chance.
Don't talk about me on the podcast.
Don't talk about. I didn't give you my consent. Whoops.
But anyway, so I was 25 years old. I was out at Mesa in Costa Mesa.
Oh my God, that was our old haunt.
It was for a time period.
Yeah.
I was there. I met this guy. We hit it off, and he was like, "I really want to take you out tomorrow." And I said, "Well, I'm busy at night, but if you want to get lunch, I could be available." So then he texts me the next day, and he he sends me in an address, and he's like, we can meet at this town center or whatever. So I'm driving, and then I get a text, and it's like, hey, can you actually swing by my house, and then we can go together? And again, my mom listening right now is probably going to be like,
I told you.
Why are you going to people's houses that you don't know? And I'm going to be like, Mom, but he seemed nice at the club. But anyways, so again, I was 25 years old. Different headspace, different mentality, very different. So I pull up to the address of the house thinking I'm either going to get in his car or we're going to go in each other's car.
Like you're going to meet together and he's going to drive you.
Or we're going to follow each other.
As one does.
Something like that.
Something.
No joke. This man walks out of his house and opens the door to my car and has a seat. And I'm like, no way.
Runs out. Thanks for picking me up. Awesome.
I'm not joking. So he gets into my car and he does the whole excuse my friend is borrowing my car right now. He's had it for a week. And I'm like,
AK, I don't have a car.
I'm like, bro, we live in Southern California. You cannot survive without a car. You do not have a car.
So funny to me.
So as you would think that things couldn't get any worse. So I'm driving. We drive up to a town center nearby. And at that time I was vegan. And
yeah, that's right.
I was vegan. So he's like, I'm taking you to the place with the best salads. And I'm like, okay, first of all, just because I'm vegan doesn't mean I only eat salad, because that is so far from the truth. But
pasta's included. Shows how much you know.
Yeah, literally. So I was like, okay, where is this guy taking me? The best salad.
Best salad.
I can't even say this story with a straight face because it's so cringe and it's so bad. Anyways, so we roll up into a fucking Chili's. This man took me to a Chili's saying that I'm taking you to the best place with salads. And I've never even been to a Chili's, and I know that there's no salads there. So
the fact that that's just the bar, the culinary bar, you're going to be blown away.
We're going to Chili's.
You don't understand. The croutons, out of this world. I don't know what they do. The spices.
So you can imagine my face when I park my car and I'm like, okay, this man is in my car. What do I do?
You're at Chili's.
I'm at Chili's.
You basically gave this dude a ride to Chili's. Get an Uber.
Do I just walk in now? I did. So, again, this is why I'm embarrassed, because I stayed. So I walk in.
Oh, man.
I look at the menu, and of course, there's 3 salads. Some have meat in them, some have ranch in them, some have cheese in them. And I'm like, really, there's nothing for me to eat. But I figured it out. The date is miserable. I'm sticking through it. And again,
you didn't find the love of your life?
I did not find the love of my life.
Spectacular salad.
Yeah, and literally.
Shocker.
And I feel the audience probably thinks that this couldn't get any worse at this point. Shocker. It got worse. The camera's here. It got worse. The bill came. And I'm not saying I had to split the bill. It didn't get that bad. But no joke, this man's paid with a Chili's gift card. He paid with a freaking Chili's gift card.
Good. I swear, it's every time I hear this story, it's I'm hearing it for the first time, because it's just so ridiculous.
I wish I was making it up.
It's
I wish
so
I was fluffing the story, but there's no fluff, zero fluff. And I hope like, I obviously never talked to him again, and he doesn't follow me on social media, but I would love for him to hear this podcast, maybe take a few pointers. I hope he's changed in the 5 years. Some feedback. This is my feedback to that date.
Because here's the thing too. We're not, please don't cancel us, okay? We are not shaming guys for taking women to, you know, like chain restaurants on a date, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Honestly, because a date really isn't about how much money you spend on women.
It's the
right?
effort.
Like it's the effort. It's the care.
But I will say, I'll take you at this age. Okay, you might be a little different at this age. I'm not saying you have to take me to a 5-star restaurant, but you are not taking me on a first date to a chain restaurant. Like, no.
I mean, that's fair, right? Like, if that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not.
If I was 19 years old, 18 years old, sure.
Right.
We can go to the CBK.
Well, whatever's comparable to your income or like whatever you feel like, right? But again, that's what I'm saying. I don't want anyone to misinterpret what we're saying.
No, you could.
I'm not.
No. What I'm saying
no, you can shame them. It's fine.
But what I'm saying is that there are restaurants that are at equivalent, like that cost the same amount, that are not chained,
right?
That are cute.
No, that's true. But what I'm saying is, like, if you, I mean, really, it actually is kind of helpful if they take you on a chain because you're like automatically like, we don't align. Our values don't align.
I'm probably going to get canceled, but if you invite me to the Cheesecake Factory, I'm not showing up.
Coming up.
I'm not coming. Unless we're friends, I'm not coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not trying to shame anybody, and I'm not trying to come off as like a bitter single woman, and people are like, girl, you wonder why you're single. Not like that. I'm just saying that, like, it is really more about the effort, right? And the planning. Like, you could still have an amazing date if you simply went on a hike or like a walk. No, right? It doesn't, sure. It's the how great the date is not, it doesn't equate to how much money was spent. However, with that being said, I'm just saying that if you are going to spend money on a girl, on a woman, taking her to a date, my advice to you would be not to take her to a chain restaurant.
Well, we know this guy. Okay, there was zero effort because you wouldn't take a vegan to Chili's. Like, this man literally wanted to use his gift card because they have the best salads. Chili's. You knew this man had no money because he has no car. Yeah, and he somehow had a Chili's gift card and wanted to use it. Right. So there was no effort. It was convenience.
At that point, it wasn't about like, oh, this is all that I can afford. This was like, well, I kind of don't really want to spend money on this person anyway, which, again, I understand there's a lot of arguments. Like, you could honestly argue it all day long of like, well, because there are some, because this is actually kind of what we kind of didn't mention this, but this is what we kind of wanted to talk about today was like standards, right? In kind of dating and high value. Like, I feel like we always hear the term high value, being a high value woman or even a high value man. Like, what does that mean? So this is kind of why this is kind of a good transition to it or part of our topic. But
wait, we're not there yet.
I know we're not.
I need to know about your worst date.
No, I know we're not there yet. But what I'm saying is that there's arguments could be made about like, because some women are like, I would never go on a coffee date, and for me, I love a coffee date. Like, I think that that's fair.
I mean, for the viewers out here who are going to think I'm crazy, I've never had a cup of coffee. So
yes, don't invite me to a coffee. Does not drink coffee.
Don't invite me to a coffee date either because
she just likes to.
I do drink green tea. If anyone wants to buy me anything,
why would you say that? That's not comparable to anything.
But I do love. That's my nightcap. So that to impress me, you can get me green
tea for the lady.
For the lady.
For any men
joke, when we went to Vegas. We went to Vegas for my 30th. There was ample supply of green tea. I came back from the club and I drank green tea.
She brought her own green tea. And at what, like 4 a.m. or something, or 3 a.m. I forget what time it is. It was something stupid. She calls down to the front desk or the concierge or whatever and is like, can I get some hot water delivered to the room?
Sober or not green tea?
Yeah, this bitch. Her and her green tea. No, we all know the health benefits of green tea. But no. Okay, so my worst date. I honestly don't. I mean, I haven't been on great. There have been some like really good, like solid dates, but I haven't really been on anything that was like, that was awful. Like, I did have one guy who he had a backpack with him. He like wore a backpack the entire time, and the Starbucks we were supposed to go to was closed, and he didn't know. And it was kind of a weird date. It wasn't bad, but I think honestly, probably one of the worst dates was probably because of me. It's my fault.
Because of you? I don't think I've heard this.
You probably have. But it was a while back. It was a while back. So what had happened, I was talking to this guy, I met off an app, and he lived down in San Diego, and obviously I'm up here in Orange County. And we were talking back and forth, and he was like, oh, I'd love to take you out. Like, I'd love to go on a date with you. And I was like, yeah, sure. Sounds great. Also at that time, I was still like, oh, that's kind of a far drive, right, for a first date. I'm still kind of, I don't know, there's a part of me that's always kind of cognizant of how far they drive. But again, that's a whole other topic because some women are like, absolutely not, you drive to me, which an argument can be made for that. But anyway, so I said, like, no, let's like meet halfway. Like it's fine. Like, I don't want you to have to drive because that's a pretty damn far drive.
Yeah.
So our original plan was we were going to meet in like Temecula area or something. And, but I totally forgot that I had a baby shower to go to for a friend, for her family member. So anyway, so I was going to go with her and I forgot about it. So we go to the baby shower. I drank too much wine because I just kept on like drinking. Like, it was just one of those things where you just like kept on drinking and you didn't really stop. And I think my friend
Jackie, who gets drunk at a baby shower?
I didn't mean to. There was just Chardonnay and I just like kept, and like I wasn't really eating because again, it's a baby shower. It's not like there's like a full spread of stuff. There's just like, tiddly bits. Like there's just, and so I just kept drinking and my glass was like kind of never empty. So I just kept drinking. And then before you know it, I'm like super, super smashed. And so then we go home and I completely pass out, obviously, because I've been drinking Chardonnay almost like mid-morning to afternoon, like a housewife. And so then I pass out and then I wake up, the house is completely dark. And I was like, oh my God, like, it's like one of those, like, where am I? And wake up and I have like so many missed calls on my phone. And there's texts and it was from that guy. And he was like, hey, like,
are you showing up?
Yeah, like, are you showing up? Oh, also before this, I when I was at the baby shower, I did text him like, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it to Temecula. Like, how about we do something closer or like later in the evening? And then that's when he was like, oh, I'll drive to you. And I was just like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it's totally fine. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then anyway, so he called me and like the text said, I'm 10 minutes away because he was meeting me like literally a place 2 minutes from my house at the time. And so I was like, oh shit. So I immediately like jumped up, like splashed water in my face. Like, I don't even know if I took a shower, which is so gross.
Threw on some lipstick.
Literally threw on some lipstick.
Deodorant.
Yeah, deodorant, like more mascara. Like, I think I changed my dress. And then I walked over to where we were going to meet. So we met, and we're talking. Also, he just it was not lining up.
Yeah.
I think he was telling me about how he like got swindled like $5 or $7 grand or something.
Tinder swindler?
This woman had like
a woman swindler
swindled him out of like, and so obviously I was just already like, oh, this is not, no, like
you're
we're
an
not,
idiot.
yeah, like you're kind of a dummy, like
yeah,
could happen to anyone. But anyway, so I was just like, yeah, this is not gonna work. But then and for some reason I ordered a drink. I don't know why I ordered a drink, but I did. I think it was like a Moscow Mule. Anyway, so then I'm drinking it, and as we're going, and as I'm listening, like I just start feeling more and more sick, and just it's catching up with me. Like the adrenaline's coming down, and so like the liquor's catching up, and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Can you excuse me? I need to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom. I puke in the bathroom, and I'm just like, it was awful. It was bad.
Just
like it
like
was
sitting on the floor.
Yeah, I'm just like leaning up against the floor, like, oh God, like. And the headache's starting to sit in. It is not a good situation. So I come back out and I'm like, I am so sorry. I need to go home. I'm not feeling well at all. Like, I'm so sorry. You drove so far, to come meet me, which I appreciate, but I gotta go. And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. He was like, you want me to take you home? And I'm like, no, I can walk. Like, honestly, I need to walk.
Yeah.
Like, the fresh air is going to be good for me. And he's like, oh, okay, like, sure, no problem. So I finally get home. This is the weird part, though. he texted me and he was like, hey, not how I thought the date was going to go, which like no one does, bro.
I mean, I also didn't picture I would be in the bathroom puking.
I too did not think that I was going to be puking on this date. So like, me too. Yeah. Also, like, who thinks that this is how the date's going to go?
I'm going to plan the date and I'm going to puke.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to
That's my way out.
like, yeah. And so, but this is the weird, creepy part. He goes, yeah, not how I thought the date was going to go, which, like, obviously, same. And then he says, like, and I also would have loved to have come back home with you and taken care of you and, like, helped you through. It's like, what? Like, what?
I'm speechless right now.
Yeah, right? Like, what do you say to that? And I was just like, what the hell? Off. Yeah, like, excuse me? Like,
that's really forward.
Isn't that so creepy?
We didn't even have a good date.
Yeah, didn't even have a good date.
You're like, I didn't even see this house would go, but can I come over?
Yeah. And he was just like, I want to take care of you. Like, dude, there's nothing you can do for me. Like, there's nothing you can, unless you're a time machine. I could go back in time and not drink.
Like, that is unfortunately, in that circumstance. It could be sweet in other circumstances. In that circumstance, that is not cute.
That's super weird, right?
It's super weird.
Like, because it's, again, like, I don't know. I don't think you could consider that, like, the love bombing. You know how, like, that's a big thing. No, that's just weird. That's just, like, super creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super funky. So that text, I mean, really gave me the creep. I mean, so, like, on top of, like, the being swindled out of, like, 5 or 7 grand or something, and then, you know, then that creepy text of, like, I would have loved to have taken care of you. It's like, you don't know me, bro. Like, why would you
got that good of an impression of me? I left, like, after 5 minutes to go to the bathroom.
I was puking on our date, and, like, that was so rude of me. Like, I knew this date was happening. Like, I already changed plans, right? Then you're already driving up to me, spent like an hour and a half driving to me from San Diego or whatever the time is it takes. And then, like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes into our date, I'm like, I got to go puke in the bathroom because, you know, I'm an idiot. Yeah. And then
we're going to get a lot of man haters with this date. They're going to be like, well, that's the problem with women.
You know what? Look. I accept that I was the responsible party for making this trash, like making this date complete trash.
It was out of your hands.
I accept it. I accept the responsibility. However, does not give you the right to cancel me or like whatever. So, and say that women are awful. I mean, sometimes we're not great, but anyway.
It was a mishap.
It was a mishap. But that was kind of, yeah, I mean, keep your standards high, everyone. I mean, men and women both.
At least you didn't throw up on him.
Yeah, that would have.
Because
could you imagine?
I've done that, not on a date, but on a friend.
What's that? It wasn't me.
You've never met him.
Okay.
But back in, college days.
College days.
And we were still friends after.
Wow.
He didn't even hate me.
Wow. I would have been absolutely not.
He might be listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. No, but that's really the moral of the story, though, which again goes into what we wanted to talk about today, was keep your standards high. Both men and women, because clearly we've shown
we did opposite perspectives.
That it's not just men who maybe put in low effort or not great on a date, but also women. We can mess up too. Such an idiot. That was so messed up. But like getting into kind of today's topic in a roundabout way. First, we didn't want to bring this up, but we have to because it's a pretty relevant topic. He's a relevant topic, and I think people know who we're going to start talking about. It is Andrew Tate.
I can't stand that.
We're not trying to give him more attention, clout, and more of a platform than he already has. But it kind of just felt fitting because, again, we were talking about, we wanted to talk about like standards today. And he's just a whole nother level to this dumpster fire that is dating.
No. What did you say? There's another idiot?
Yeah, there's another idiot on the market. There's a new model.
There's a new model.
Named Andrew Tate.
It's sad because there are so many guys that are like, Andrew Tate. Like, if you go through his comments, there are so many guys like Andrew Tate for the win. Andrew, it's like disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's like ones where he's being
like all the clapping emojis.
Clapping.
And you're like, what?
And he's being so disgusting and saying disgusting things about women.
Yes.
And these guys are like hyping him up. And society is a joke. Like at this point, like I can't, if you're a guy that is encouraging this, like you have mad issues.
Yeah, you've got major issues.
I mean, I saw on TikTok some girls are like, my boyfriend's been changing up. He's acting mean now, and
which is insane. Well, for
guys,
a
guy with a weak, guy that is weak and is not secure in himself and cannot stand his ground, will see a guy like this and be like, Andrew Tate, because he's a fool.
He's an absolute idiot.
Yeah, he has
idiot doesn't even begin to describe. He's horrendous, actually.
I mean, I got to share some of the, I didn't want to share some, but some of the things are just so absurd.
If you don't know who he is,
let me give you a taste of what he has said.
Sana's going to give you a little bit of a taste of what he has said. So again, we're not trying to give him more of a platform, but it just, literally, I feel like this is like a new level to like the Hunger Games of dating. Like you've released like poisonous flowers and like good luck trying to figure out which one is poisonous because they look like the non-poisonous one.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful.
Yeah. I mean, also, if my sisters are listening, this is where you click off.
Yes, this is where you, again, turn down the volume.
Okay, so if a woman is going out with a man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman. So if she wants to do OnlyFans, she owes him some money because she's his. So basically, he's like, you're not even saying, you're not even her boyfriend at this point. You're saying you're her pimp.
You're her pimp. I was just going to say, you're her pimp. Like, what's the difference at this point? And
I owe you money.
The audacity.
The mentality.
Also just like the stupidity. That is him.
And guys are encouraging this. They're like, yeah, you're right. It's like, excuse me?
Right? Which is just insane. So like if just like PSA, if like your man is like, hey, I've been listening to Andrew Tate, run.
Dump
Girl,
his ass.
run.
Dump
run.
his ass. Unless he's like, I've been listening to him.
Because people have said, and I
him.
can't believe he says these things. He's awful. He's terrible. He's a keeper. Right? We're good. But if he's like, hey, I've been listening to Andrew Tate.
And some of his points make sense.
He has valid points. Girl, run. Run away now. Yeah, no, not at all.
It's so bad. It gets worse. So then he goes on and also says this. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. He proceeds to say at that young age, it's easier for him to put an imprint on her. And it's like, okay, first of all, that whole statement is, I don't even have words for it. But the same could be said reverse. So shouldn't...
Right.
Younger, like you're telling me that these guys that are 26 and 25 have not done the same?
Right.
So shouldn't we not be attracted to them either? Because I guarantee you most guys at that age have done more than we have.
Yes, I would agree with that. Like, we have no scientific data to back that up.
But I could back it up.
But honestly, I really do. I feel like if we were going to debate this.
Yeah, right? It's okay that you're dicking down other girls.
Right.
At that age, and we're supposed to be attracted to you and be about you.
Right.
Like, fuck off.
Because again, double standards. Also, just the like, almost like pedophilia, right? That there's like the imprint on her. That's also known as grooming.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just call it what it is, dude.
Disgusting.
It's grooming. The 18 to 19, right? Which is super disgusting. Like, yes, technically, by legal definitions, they are legal and they're adults. But that's still so gross. That's still just, honestly, this dude should be, like, he should be ashamed of himself. And the crazy part is that who knows if he truly believes this or not?
Yeah.
Because he could probably just be doing this for a gimmick.
And that's the problem with social media. Everybody feels like they have to do outrageous shit to get clout.
Yes.
And he may be just doing this to get clout. And there's all these other people that are just stupid that are like, yes, this is how we should be. He's right. All that, because honestly, society's pretty stupid and gullible.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like guys see like one like man who they think that they should look up to and is like, yeah, he is doing the right thing. And he is like, for some guys, for somebody like a guy that is a dick to women is attractive to them. Like they feel like they need to be that.
Yeah, they're like, we need to like support our brother in arms.
Right, but again, it's
like,
the insecure guys.
Yes, it's all. That's the thing. I mean, if it's like anybody, right? It's anybody who supports of either gender or sex or whatever. someone who says things like that, right? Like even if there was a woman who was sitting there bashing men constantly or saying horrendous things about men, it would be the same thing, right? Because it's a character situation. It's like a values, morals, ethics thing. So it's not just solely restricted to, gender versus gender. Like, but yeah, that's just, if you're supporting this, if a dude is supporting Andrew Tate and is like, yeah, absolutely, like very insecure, someone who doesn't like to accept responsibility, like guarantee he's had like the same like shitty job, right?
Probably lives with his mom.
Yeah, very immature.
Star Wars like comforter.
The race car bed.
The race car bed.
Doesn't want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
No, but like, yeah, just I don't even know where to go.
Well,
and again, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And the problem is social media, right? We need to stop giving people the views, talk. And I know we're not helping because we're talking about it.
In a way, we're not helping. Yes, so don't call us out. Don't sit there and be like, but you're just talking about him.
But I'm bringing this up because we need to stop talking about it. We need to stop sharing his videos and anybody like this, because we make so many unnecessary people famous that really do not deserve to have a platform. And it's actually dangerous that they have a platform.
It is. It's dangerous that they have a voice, and it's dangerous that they have a grip, right, on social media and being able to say whatever they want to say. Because this really reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen it, the documentary on Netflix.
I haven't seen it, but I saw it. Like,
yeah, like the thing, and and it's called like, what is it, like the most hated man of the internet or most dangerous man, I forget. If you haven't seen it, we'll probably try to find the right title.
No, it's the most hated man.
The most hated man on the internet. It's a really interesting documentary, and it's about this guy who created the site AnyoneUp, I think, or UUp or AnyoneUp or something like that. But I don't want to like ruin the documentary for you. But basically, it was just like a very like, he was taking just kind of normal. I say normal in the sense of like civilians, right? They're women's pictures and like nudes and stuff that they had taken privately, and he was posting them on his website. And this whole thing kind of turns out that he was actually hacking into people's private, like, Google Drives or whatever, and taking their photos. So it's very, very interesting just for kind of a number of things about kind of like the legal ramifications, or I guess like the lack of legal protection for digital like property, right? But then also just how he had this like massive cult following and everyone just loved it. But like this dude had a voice and he was like destroying women's lives. And he just didn't give a shit, and he didn't care because he made money, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, unfortunately, we are the problem. It's not even, people can go out there and say whatever they want,
right?
But we're the one who's giving them the opportunity, giving them the platform, giving them, like, we're watching, we're following, doing all these things, and we need to stop. Like, people like this do not deserve, like, we need to be bringing up people that actually are bringing substance to the world.
Yes.
And not trashing the world.
Yes. So you have a voice, you have a power. You are basically, we as a collective society actually are more of a commodity than we think. Yeah. There's another very interesting documentary on Netflix. I think it's Netflix. But it talks about social media and how we are the product, actually. Like our likes and our energy is the actual product that's being sold to various social media platforms and to companies. Like we're the product. We're the ones that are being sold. And so you have to like again, PSA, like remember that, like what you spend your time and energy on in the social media atmosphere makes a difference. It really, really does. So please don't watch his videos. Who knows if reporting them will do anything. If you feel led to, go ahead. But don't watch his videos. Don't give him any more credence. Trying to use our platform for something good, right? We have a voice. So to all four people listening.
All four people, fuck Andrew Tate.
Yes.
And second, like, I think even other podcasts and like I know people, he's been on other shows.
Yes.
Like he's been on other, like on actual ones.
Yeah, on actual podcasts.
People need to stop bringing him on. Because it's just giving him,
it's
like, we need to make him irrelevant.
Yes. Absolutely. And so,
Well, anybody like that, not even just him.
yeah, not even
Anybody
just him,
like
but
that.
anybody like that. Anybody that is spreading such awful, atrocious, disgusting things. How you can say about that. And in the year 2022, mind you, right?
He's like over the 1800s right now.
Dude, like, we can vote and hold property too, right?
Yeah.
Just to let you know. But yes, like, just stop. Don't listen to those podcasts if they have him on. Skip that episode, even if it's your favorite podcast, which it should be ours. And we haven't had him on. So
I know we briefly talked about him, so
yes.
forgive us, but
yeah, so forgive us, but really it's more just like a call to action, if you will.
A call to action.
Call to action, to social action. No, but remember that we're the commodity. That documentary actually is very, very interesting about social media and how it's used and just how much we don't know that we're the product being sold, but we are, like our energy and our attention. Again, we have way more power than we think, which I think we often forget about. No, but yeah, so no, but basically we did want to touch on him because, again, trying to finally actually get to what we wanted to talk about today, which was the having high standards. So obviously, again, dating is kind of like it's prevalent in our lives. We are both single, as we mentioned, and as you mentioned before, you're exiting a relationship. And so we are going to talk about dating, I feel like, a decent amount because, again, it's something that is
probably, it's not going to be every episode.
It's not going to be every episode. So, like, don't be like, click next. Yeah. Like, it's not going to be every episode, but it is. It's something that is happening in our lives. It does take up a lot of, not a lot, but it takes up time and energy, right? And there's a lot more that goes into it, though.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think dating does. Is it really unearths a lot of things about you, like just your mental, emotional, right, physical, just kind of everything, childhood trauma. It gives you some laughs, right, some bad dates.
Honestly, I think
some humor.
It was almost worth to go on that date to have this story, because we will be anywhere and we'll just all start busting out laughing.
Yes.
And there are a few other things that we bust out laughing that I feel like I shouldn't share about other dates.
Maybe at some point. Maybe at some point one day.
I'm going to have Jackie reenact some things. But.
Yeah. Some good stuff. There's some good stuff that you have. No, we really wanted to talk about standards and high value. And again, this goes for men and women.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't really matter. It's not gender specific. And so, yes, obviously we're talking from a female perspective. But it's kind of like, what does that mean? Because I don't know about you, but I've heard it a lot. And as I've been going through kind of like my dating journey, right? Like in my, adult life, I really love Matthew Hussey. Well, I think we both love Matthew Hussey.
You don't send me the videos.
Yes, but I really like Matthew Hussey.
I do. The videos you do send me, I do enjoy. Yes. I think he makes a lot of good, valid points.
He does. Obviously, not everything is, going to be for you or you may agree with, but I think he actually does have some pretty solid advice for women in dating. So if you are on that journey as well, highly recommend Matthew Hussey to follow and listen. He does make some really excellent and valid points. But I would hear, again, the term high value. You have to be a high value woman. You have to be a high value woman. And for a while, I was just like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you're like, I'm a good person.
Yeah. I'm like, I think I'm high value.
Yeah.
My mom thinks I am. And so it's just kind of like, I don't know what that means until I don't know when it finally clicked. But I guess like for me, and I want to get your kind of perspective on this too, is for me, I finally realized that like, oh, you have standards, right? Like you not only have standards, but you operate in them, which is like, I think the major, like that's really kind of the crux of it all, right? The difference, right? And so I don't know about you. Like, did you always know kind of that term high value and like what it truly meant?
I started hearing the term high value through you because you would send me the videos and you'd be like, high value. Yeah. And again, I always thought like I carried myself in a high value way.
Yeah. Like I'm not trashy.
Exactly. I'm not trashy. But then listening to his stuff and the things you would send me, I'm like, well, no, there's actually, I think that's, you don't realize what you're doing,
Yes.
but it actually makes you not look like a high value woman.
Yes.
And this is not just like, going to the club or like things like
Yeah,
that.
no, it's not
like
the
that.
obvious.
It's not the obvious. Exactly. It's not the obvious. It's what you put up with, what you accept from them,
Yes.
not like putting your standards down. Because I think a lot of times what we do is we just, something will happen, we'll let it slide, or we'll be like, we don't stand our ground
Yes.
the way we should.
Yes.
And then it does diminish our value.
Right. No, it's true. And I think that is the key, is that it's not the obvious.
It's not
the things that you think. It's not the like, oh, well, I don't dress in a super provocative way or whatever, right? Like, no, like or like, okay, well, I'm educated, right? Or I speak well. Or like, yeah, I'm not like on the clubs, or I'm not like super promiscuous and just like whatever, like, just.
Yeah. I mean, example would be, say you got asked out on a date and the guy cancels like 5 minutes before the date.
Yes. That's a good one.
Yes. So normal, like sometimes girls like, no worries, I completely understand. And the guy will be like, can we reschedule? Yes. A high value woman does not reschedule.
Right.
Because she doesn't accept men that do that.
Yes. That wastes their time.
And
so, and please, like, yes, like, again, there's a lot of gray area within this, right? And it's like, okay, well, but like, what if, right? Like,
obviously if something crazy happened.
Yes, like, we're not talking about like he got in a car accident and you're like, no, I'm a high value woman. Absolutely not. No, it's not like that. Like, he's on his deathbed.
You should have been there.
He's in the ICU on life support.
You should have taken off, walked away, taken the bed with you.
But did you have your phone?
Did you have your phone?
He's like on his way to the date. Like, gone.
He has the IV.
Yeah, IV, the hospital gown. I see you talking to the nurse, so you can talk to the nurse, but you can't talk to me. Obviously not like that. No, we're talking about, again, right. It's been fine leading up to it. He's even texted you during the day to confirm plans. Like, oh yeah, see you at 7. And you're like, great, looking forward to it. And then 5 minutes before, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it. And it's like, right. Like, but you alluded to nothing else. And also 5 minutes before, like, come on, that's bullshit. And you know it. So, it's kind of an interesting point is, being high value is also kind of knowing how to navigate, right? And how to really kind of, well, what can I don't want to say accept, right? But I guess for lack of a better term, like accept versus like what I don't. Because also a high value woman does not mean being bitchy.
No, it does not.
Which like we can be. Like women can be bitchy.
No, but I agree with you. That's not what it means.
Sometimes valid. Sometimes like
it's necessary.
Yeah. But other times it's just, again, like, you had your phone on you.
Yeah. And it's
we can be unreasonable sometimes.
Yeah. It's also not about playing a game.
Yes.
It's just knowing.
That's a huge one.
Yeah. It's knowing your standards and because I think what comes across as, it wasn't a priority for you.
Right.
To make this date. You led me on. It wasn't you probably knew this whole time you weren't going to come on the date.
You knew you weren't.
So why am I going to give you my time and energy?
Right.
Instead of, taking it for like a grain of salt and be like, oh, maybe.
Well, maybe. That's always the thing. Well, maybe.
Maybe something did happen.
Maybe something did happen. Like, well, I don't know. Like, well, well, he did seem, I mean, he did confirm earlier in the day. So maybe I shouldn't be mad or just even getting swept up in.
Yeah.
Because I think we both do this, is sometimes we meet somebody and we get caught up in the initial
fairy tale.
The fairy tale.
Yeah.
And we're just like, do I want to say I have our children's name picked out? Like, no, but also they will be Samantha and Nick. Like, so we do. I think you and I both kind of do that, and we
romanticize the idea.
Yes, we romanticize a lot, because I don't want to say it's falling quickly, because that's not falling, really.
Yeah.
That's romanticizing, and that's getting way ahead of yourself. Because we do romanticize the situation, we romanticize the person. But yes, it's, it's knowing that you don't know this person, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of actually do have to take everything that they're giving you as like face value. Like, this is the truth, right? Like, you don't get to take it with a grain of salt. Like, no, this is true, right? And if they're disrespecting me in this way, because that's really what it is, they're not respecting your time.
Yeah,
they're not respecting their commitment. And if this is what's happening in the beginning,
It's very telling.
then it is. And how is it supposed to get any better? Right. So, and also it's kind of like that movie, He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah.
When I forget her name, but what's her face, finally kind of comes to the realization, understanding that like, that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
So if you do have friends who have sat there and been like, well, but I had a friend, I had a cousin, my sister, my sister's friend. It's like, no, that's the exception, not the rule. So let's not bank on that, right?
No, it's
like,
so true.
Let's not make that the standard. But no, yes, like just understanding kind of the depth of that and what that means. And that's part of being high value as well, is kind of going to the sub layers, right? Not just like, oh, he canceled, but it's like, no, what is that telling me?
What is that telling? That's
right.
What is that telling me?
What is that telling me? It's telling me you don't respect me. That means that you don't value my time. And also ultimately like that you're a very selfish person.
Yeah.
Right. Again, I can understand that things come up. Like we're all adults, right? Like we don't expect things are going to happen perfectly every single time. Yeah. And things, yes, can come up. We all understand that. But again, usually you know that beforehand.
Yeah. Not 5 minutes. And, so there's a lot of layers to it. That's just one example, but
yeah,
it's just knowing exactly, seeing things for face value. And I think as women, we're always like, this will feel like, in the sense where we try to make ourselves feel better.
Yes.
So we're like, no, it can't be that. We try to convince ourselves. No, it can't be that. Like, no, he's into me.
Yes.
I think we have a really hard time of just facing like, no, like he's just not that into you.
Yeah.
He didn't care enough to do it.
Right.
A guy that cares or a person that cares will do whatever it's their power to make it happen.
Yes. If they care,
if
it matters to them, right? It may not be super high priority, because that's another thing. That's actually another thing that I would do. Is I'd be like, well, I'm not expecting it to be a priority. It's like, but no, in this moment I am. For today, I am. Within this space, I am.
Yeah.
So if I'm not going to be that for you, like, that's fine. Then but I'm not going to tolerate it.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to move along. Because so this is a question for you. Have you always been a high value woman? Or do you think you're a high value woman?
I definitely.
And have you always thought that?
I definitely feel and believe I'm a high value woman now, because my mentality, how I feel about myself, me being secure within myself, and just what I'm willing to put up with and where I know my standards are.
Yeah. Because that was kind of like my thing, is like, have you always operated?
No.
As a high value woman?
Because I definitely have not, because I would fall into that. Oh, like maybe things will change. Like,
yes.
Oh, but he's still texting me every day.
Yes.
But he's not hanging out with me. But he's still like in my mind, like he's still putting the effort to like message me. So
being attacked right now, character assassination.
But I understand it, because I used to, when I was before my relationship, so before the last 3.5 years, I would fall into that. I would be situations where I think looking back now, it was blatantly obvious that he was not that into me.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it kept thinking like, he's still around. So like, he's going to eventually see my worth. He's going to see what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah.
But they never do. You know what they do? Is that they keep you around for like the moment, and then they leave you for what they really want.
Right.
And it's not, and when they tell you, I'm not looking for a relationship.
Believe them.
No. It's, I'm not looking for a relationship with you.
Yes. But also believe them. I'm not looking for a relationship. Okay. Well, who's in that right now? I'm in that.
Yeah.
So I have to take, yes, they're not looking for a relationship with you.
Yeah.
So then go.
I would get, like, this has happened to me 1 or 2 times where I'd be talking to a guy and he would give me the whole, when I was younger, the whole, I'm not looking for something, I'm not ready to commit. We stop our little situationship, and then they have a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, they didn't want it with you.
They didn't want it with you. Which hurts, and it sucks to hear.
It sucks,
no one likes rejection. And I also think that society, I don't know, this could be debated on, but, or debated about, but like, I don't think within kind of maybe the dating realm or romance realm that like we get really prepared to be rejected. Yeah. I think it's more so men are like kind of able to handle the, like women were always like, oh, like I'm the prize, like, you know, and I don't think we're prepared for it as much as we think that we are. I mean, we're rejected in other ways, like, I don't know, from like life, but I think within the dating realm, like, you know, we're not prepared for it. So it's hard for us to let it go.
I agree. And I think we make it about us.
Yes.
When it's not about us.
It's not about us.
We think like, what are we lacking? What does he not see about it? It has nothing to do with us and everything to do with him.
Yeah. Which, because that's something that I think I still continue to struggle with, that is just realizing that it's not about me.
Yeah.
And I think we always talk about this too. Two things, like, you could be, and I know everyone's probably heard this, but like, you could be like the juiciest, sweetest peach in the world, but there's always going to be somebody, the most perfect peach, but there's always going to be somebody that does not like peaches.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
And also we live in a world where Beyonce can get cheated on. But anyway, but no, like, going back to like the peach analogy, like, it's true, right? Like, it's fine if they don't like you.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks and it hurts and you're like, damn, cause like, I really like this dude, or I thought we were compatible or whatever, but it just doesn't work out. And that's hard. It is hard to deal with. Like, it's not easy.
It is hard to deal with because they're also not upfront. They're not saying that. They make it seem like I'm just working on myself, personal growth.
Yes.
They don't make it clear that, no, I'm just looking for fun with you.
Yes.
I think if they, and some people do, I'm not going to say that, some people do make it very clear, and I respect. I respect that so much. If a guy tells me,
way more,
hey, I don't want a relationship with you, but I'm having a good time with you.
Yes.
But if you're going to lead me on and just go on this little whole like cat and mouse, whatever, games, all this stuff for no end goal, like, no, be upfront, be a man, grow a pair.
Right. No, but it's true. Honestly, that's one of the most unattractive things that a man can do. Honestly, that anybody can do, right? Is your values and your character, right? And your morals and standards and ethics. Like, you can be kind and still be honest, right?
Yeah.
But it's also just selfish because you're just like, that's why people ghost, right? Because they don't, and I hate ghosting. I will always call it out. Some people don't. I do.
Say everybody wants the easy way out.
Yes, everyone wants the easy way out. And it's just like, well, I don't want to hurt them. It's like, you can be kind and honest. You can simply say, by the way, we live in a digital age. All right. Yeah. So like, there are so many resources. It's like when someone calls you for directions, you're like, okay, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to get here. You're going to open up your phone because it's the year 2022 and you're going to open up Google Maps. That's how you get here. Right. Those are my directions for you. So same thing, right? Like, be an adult. And if you're someone who has ghosted, like, don't be that person. Don't be a dick. Okay. Just if you're dating, because as someone who's been ghosted,
I think everybody's been ghosted.
Everyone's been ghosted.
At some point, everybody's been ghosted.
So it's not like I have a monopoly on this. But this is about me right now, Sana. It's not about you. It's about me. It's not about them. It's not about all 4 listeners. No, but obviously we've all had our fair share. But I do take it personally. And I am trying to work on that. That is something that I do want to be able to not have it reside in my soul for like a month and still think about. Because it is hard. But also just be honest. There's so many resources, honestly, out there. There's so many like actual scripts that like dating coaches have like written out.
Copy and paste.
Like literal copy and paste. Like, you can copy and paste, put in that person's name and be done. Right. And here's the thing too, is if you were ever like nervous that like, oh, I don't know how they're going to react. It's also called blocking them. Deleting their number, blocking them. Like, again, we live in a digital age where we can protect ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just be an adult, right? Grow up, grow a pair, have some courage, show some honesty.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
that goes for men and women.
Yes, men and women both, because I've met some women that are just like, oh yeah. Like,
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've probably done it, but I'm working on it. It's been a long time. I have not done that in a long time because I'm new to the scene. But not only am I new to the scene, I'm not even in the scene. I'm like, scene. I'm here. Yeah. Like, so it's been a long time. I was a child then, I'm a new person.
Not an excuse, but that's fine. No, but yeah, just there are so many resources, right, to be able to not have to do that. But I think that's also part of a high value woman as well, is calling that shit out in a respectable way. Again, like, it's not about being a bitch. It's not about, being an asshole back, right, or being petty back, which I can be petty when I want. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah.
In some ways I am.
I think we can all. We all have a little pettiness.
But part of it is calling it out. But calling it out in a respectful manner and saying, hey, there's actually this girl that I follow on TikTok she is a dating coach, I think, and she has a lot of great scripts and a lot of things that she says and that she uses as she's dating. And I actually really like her perspective because she actually sees dating as like a fun thing where I'm like, this is trash. But she has scripts and they're great. And she has some that call out ghosting and saying, hey, like, I haven't heard from you. I'm going to take that as like, you're not interested, which is fine. But like, I would just want to let you know that like moving forward, like as you like continue to date, like you just be honest, like I'm sure the next girl would appreciate it type of thing. And again, some people would be like, oh, I don't even care. Like it doesn't scathe. And like that's great. That's for you. That's your superpower. God, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Where I could be completely unscathed by someone's actions or words.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's two sides to this coin because as I agree, you should be upfront and tell people, but then it's like the actions are speaking louder. Why do we need the words?
See, I do agree with that yes, actions speak louder than words. But that's why I'm saying to each their own. But for me, I'm still going to say something. Yeah. I'm still just going to be like, look,
it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do. Like, that's fine. If you did,
But I think we need to get out of this whole everybody needs closure. Everybody needs closure. It's like sometimes I get some services you do. You do. You do. Don't get me wrong. I know you're going to fight me back on this. We do, but you go out on a date with a guy a few times, and the respectful thing is to let someone know, but it's also like, okay, you already know he's not that into you. Like, does it really help for him to flat out say it?
See, but again, I think it's also just accountability.
No, it's
true. See, because this is also my problem, and I think that this is an issue in society, is like, oh, I'm just not going to say anything. Yeah. That's what happens, and that's how, what's that quote? And I forgot who says it. I should probably know it. But it's like, what is it, like evils when like good men stand by and do nothing? And I know that's more like the case of like social causes of like equality, like true equality. And here I am like with ghosting. Yeah.
No, I'm with you that it is the right thing to do.
Right. I
think we also have to grow some skin a little bit in the sense where it's like, we don't need it, right? It's the right thing to do. But if we don't get it,
yes, if we don't get it, that's fine.
The actions are speaking to us. We don't need to harp and be like, what is he doing? Why is he? We know.
Yeah, we know. We don't need to.
But I think people, men and women, they're like, oh, like, they're wondering. It's like, you don't need to wonder. It's spelled out for you.
Right. No, I'm saying like in the sense of, I will call it out. I'm not going to sit there and be like, so why don't you like me?
Are we going out again?
Are we going out again? Haven't heard from you. Yeah. Is everything okay? Like,
but
are
some
you
people
dead?
do that.
Are you in a ditch?
Some people do that.
Like, there's like, girl, like,
don't chase it.
Like, you don't chase it. Yeah. Right. But also because again, actions are telling you, right? They're telling you, I'm not interested. I don't want to see you again, which is fine. But for me, I'm going to call it out in the sense of, again, I'm not going to be like, what the hell? But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm going to take your silence as like, you're not interested or totally fine. I just want, like I would have appreciated X, Y, Z. That's
I understand
me. I will always do that. If you don't agree, if someone out there, right, all 4 listeners, 2 out of 4 don't agree. If you don't agree, that's totally cool.
No, I understand what you're saying.
But also because I do have this, that's kind of, and this is kind of where I get into, again, like social change, is calling people out on their bullshit. Yeah. And it's like, no, I want you to know that like, it was okay if you said so. So that's kind of even like the point of this, like, it's okay to tell somebody I'm not interested. That is way more helpful than
I completely
leaving them guessing.
I completely agree on that part. But I think some men and women will like keep texting and chasing it as if like no, you don't need you like wondering, are you into me? It's like you don't need to wonder. Yes,
the wondering, so like that's the thing. If you're gonna call out ghosting, don't call it out in the sense of like, well, I guess you didn't like me. I guess I wasn't pretty enough for you. I wasn't this like, oh, like, ooh, like that's not a good look. Also, you don't need to be asking questions. You're not a Google form at this point, like a feedback form. Like, leave your review. You're not Yelp. Yeah. Like, so don't start asking for like, oh, why didn't you like me? What was it about me? Or do you want to see me again? Like, are you okay? Like, we don't need to ask. We don't need the answers. Yeah. I'm saying in the sense of like, hey, it's okay if you don't want to go out again. I'm going to take your silence, right?
That's the right way to do it.
Yes, and letting them know. So, again, part of high value. This is you, and you're like, ooh, I do that because I did too. It's it's knowing how to call it out, how to say things, not ghosting people, right? Yeah. Being communicative, just being an adult, grow up, right? Yeah.
Accountability, like you said.
Yes, accountability. Definitely. We're all at the age of accountability. So like, also just karma. Right?
That too.
You reap what you sow. If you're having problems, maybe it's because you ghosted too many people.
All my female gals out there too who are going through this.
Going through it.
You'll get there because
We will. We'll get there.
you just have to get to a point of you being okay standing on your own, because I think a lot of it comes from wanting someone there in codependency.
Yes.
My independent ladies.
That's another topic. But this has been a great conversation.
It's been great. Yeah.
Hopefully you all stayed with us. I know we kind of zigzagged a little bit, but hopefully you all enjoyed it. We appreciate you listening. Again, we appreciate the support. It's been fantastic. Again, everyone but Roger. I'm just kidding, Roger. I'm just kidding.
You're no longer invited to Italy.
Took some great photos, so we can't be mad at him. But no, thank you. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions, any topics, stories, feedback, good, bad, and
please share.
ugly,
I would
share.
love to read stories and send me what you want. Like if you need advice.
Yes, we love.
I'm not saying I'm all knowing, but
learn from our mistakes. Really,
I have a lot to shed.
but it's been great, and we'll catch you all next week.
Yes, enjoy your week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.